this computer. All right, guys, welcome to Gut Reboot 2.0. We're so excited to have you guys on this reboot of Gut Protocol. I do want to say kudos to you because let's keep it real. We're dead in the middle of summer, right? And most people will throw caution to the wind this time of the year, just say the F-its, right? The F-its. What's the point? I'm going on vacation. F it. What's the point? Their kids are home and, and the junk drawer is like overflowing or having to be refilled and I can't control myself. F it, work has been super crazy and I'm stressed out and I'm stress eating. What's the point now? The problem with that is that we know every season of life, we could sit there and define all the F-its, but we didn't. We drew a hard line in the sand. All of you guys came to us and said, I am ready to go all in. And we want to help you be locked and loaded and prepped and ready to take on the next 4 weeks. And that's not going to just be in a grocery list. It's not going to just be in joining us in the No Snooze crew. It's not going to be just in watching those modules. A big part of it is going to be in the mindset and getting yourself prepared mentally for what you want to achieve with Gut Reboot, okay? And here's what I want you guys to know, is that is personal to you. Where you take this, like a lot of times we host these kinds of challenges and they'll always be like, can I do this or can I do that or can I break this, and change this rule in the Gut Protocol or not? That's going to be up to you because what you want out of this is going to be defined by you, how strict you want to go into this program, how you want to follow to a T, what you want to achieve, what you want it to look like, who you want to be at the end of it is totally up to you. We're here to facilitate that journey for you. We're here to coach you through, mentor you through. We've done it time and time again. I mean, ever since Gut Protocol came out 2 years ago, not only was I in the test group for the actual program when Autumn was developing it. But then after that, Amy then stepped in that second round when we were able to bring in our teams and Amy did. And I remember seeing Amy like light up, like for the first time, it was like a big breakthrough in her journey, which she's got a tremendous journey that she could tell you guys about over a course of many, many years. But all those times that we got a hold of this program, we decided what we wanted to get out of it. And there's something really special about going into something and finishing what you started. Setting a standard for yourself, deciding what you want out of something and seeing it through. Is it going to be perfect? No. And we're going to talk about that. There's going to be trip ups. That's the way it is. But to me, this is a lifestyle. You're talking about 2 years ago when this program landed on my lap and I learned so much more about nutrition. I became a food label ninja, which I can't wait to teach you guys all the things that we have learned as a team and together when it comes to reading food labels, where it comes to going to restaurants, when it comes to the things and the foods that we're buying our families and feeding our kids, all these things empower you in such a special way that you're going to realize that it's not just about these 4 weeks, but these 4 weeks are going to dictate how you feel about yourself with the goals that you set for yourself. And a big part of that is going to be the mindset, right? And so I want to talk about that real quick because knowing why you're here today for yourself, what is going to emotionally pull you to get through this program, stick to it, even when it gets hard, because we can promise you it will get hard. I don't know at what point or at what capacity, but it may be a dinner that you're at with family and friends and they're trying to get you to drink that glass of wine. Who cares? Nobody knows. Only, like we won't tell anyone. You can cheat right now, but right? You're going to know. Or it's going to be that point where people are going to be around you not understanding why you're doing that. Oh my God, that's so silly. Do you really have to do that? There's going to be the moments where you may have had a late night, bad sleep, and you got to get up and you got to get that workout in and you know what's on the schedule for you. And you're wondering, if I just don't do it one day, is that going to matter? They're going to be those forks in the road. And what we want to do is solidify the mindset and solidify the why. So when you get there, you're able to bulldoze through. And when you get there, you're able to make the decisions so that, again, you walk out on the other side, the person that you wanted to be at the end of this, right? So I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I just, for me personally, it was July 29th. Oh my God, that's tomorrow. I just realized tomorrow is going to be a year where I said, I made like a hard line in the sand. I had been going through a lot of different things in my life. And it's like little by little, you guys probably relate to this. A lot of you guys that have been in Gut Reboot, Gut Protocol in the past, have done maybe other programs under the Body umbrella in the past. The things, but little by little, it just starts to seep, little things start to unravel, and you start to lose a couple of the habits that you had that were going so strong. And before you know it, you're a downward fall is like a spiral. I found myself there July 29th of last year. Tomorrow's going to be a year. And I made that hard line, and I went into gut protocol hard. I started learning more about my hormone health. Lo and behold, that was in July. By October, Autumn asked me to be part of the Belle Vitale test group. So the very first test group for Belle Vitale that a lot of us are really excited about, that's coming out in December, I was a part of in October of last year. And it felt so like divine intervention that landed on my lap when I had already made a decision since July, where I did a lot of things like cut out alcohol for myself. I started taking my nutrition to a next level. I started learning a lot about fasting, which we're going to talk about here. And we're going to talk about a lot within the group, because Amy and I, in fact, fasting was introduced to me by Amy. It was Amy that picked up a book first that she started to say, guys, this is really, really, really interesting. And I think it can help a lot of us. And when I picked up the same book, it's called Fast Like a Girl, a lot of things started to change in the right direction for me. And tomorrow's going to be a year since making that decision that has literally taken my whole entire journey to the next level. But I'll tell you this much also. I had held in my heart and in my mind that I knew I was turning 40 this year. And I knew that how I wanted to feel on that day. This is where I want to tell you, no matter what your goal is for yourself, if it's a birthday, if it's a trip, if it's just a certain pair of jeans, if it's the fact that you have zero energy for your family when you get home and you need to fix that, if it's your marriage right now, you're just never in a good mood and you're realizing I gotta fix me, I gotta work on me, whatever it is, there's nothing too small or too big that you can wrap your mind and heart around and anchor yourself to as we get through these 4 weeks. It is crucial that you identify. It's crucial that you see it and understand it and want it. I had one and it carried me for a solid year. And I was just, when that came to life on the dream vacation that we also had been planning to Greece, so much came full circle for me. And I want to share that. I share that with you guys because I want that for you guys, right? And it'll start at the 4 weeks that we work together, but it'll keep being something you can anchor yourself to there. And the most magical part is when you achieve the goals and you do what you set out to do. You prove something to yourself. All it does is strengthen you, both mindset wise, and obviously your journey's at another level that you start building off of. That's the kind of momentum you need and want. So the examples can be anything from I want to experience how good my body's designed to feel to I want to create a new normal for myself. When you create a new normal, a new baseline of how you know your body can feel, it changes the game because you're constantly chasing that new feeling. It happened to me with eliminating alcohol for like, I don't know, I think Jen Soko I forgot to like sit there and count the days. I went so many days, it was like 160 days. And when I did it, I understood how good my body was designed to feel that from then I have barely had any alcohol because I've been chasing that, oh my gosh, that euphoric feeling, the way that I felt at that point that I never wanted to fall below that. Creating that new normal for yourself is something so, so special to experience. I want to improve my mood for my family and all those that are in my orbit. I don't want to be in discomfort anymore. There's such a difference when you put on your clothes and it feels good, or when you eat a meal and you're not bloated. When your skin, you look at yourself in the mirror and your skin is glowing, when you're getting the sleep that your body deserves. All of that is a trickle effect into everything you do and who you are in your life. And that's something that you can anchor yourself to. I want to prove to myself that I can finish what I start. I want to feel confident in social settings. I want to enter the holidays with confidence and control, right? How many people enter in the holidays because they didn't grab a hold of their controllables during the summer, then that starts to fumble into the winter months, and then before you know it, it's year round and it's year after year that are starting to compound in the wrong direction of what we want. These are all the things that we can anchor ourselves to, and I want you to take it to the next level. Like if any of these resonated as I read them out loud, if something, you felt something, I want you to ask a question of, okay, but why? After that, and trying to get into a couple layers deep of, but why? If you want to create a normal for yourself, but why? And when you get that answer, ask again, but why? And when you can really, really identify your why and what you're gonna focus on to get through the 4 weeks and keep the promises that you made to yourself, I am telling you that you will not regret it. It is something that you'll do for you, by you, and it's something that I've done in my life on repeat that I'll also share a little small story with you guys. My daughter, she's 11 years old. She's about to be 12 years old. And our biggest thing with her is sweets. Homegirl loves her sweets, chocolate, cookies, ice cream, all the things. Not too long ago, she's always bothering her dad to get her Cold Stone. He got her Cold Stone for whatever reason. That ice cream just did not sit well with her. She was sick all night, throwing up. We had a horrible night. The next morning, well, actually, it wasn't even the next morning. It was like in the middle of the night as I'm cradling her in bed and trying to get her to fall asleep after throwing up I don't know how many times. She said to me, and this is because of my niece, she said to me, Mom, I'm going to do a 10-day sugar challenge. I'm not going to have sugar for 10 days because I think it's making me sick now. And I'm like, in the middle of the night, I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm like, yes, yes, baby girl. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Well, the next day she remembered what she said. And she goes, okay, Mom, so 10 days from now, and she looked at the calendar and she looked at what the 10 days are. We are right now sitting at day 7. Yesterday, we were at a friend's house and they baked cookies. And she's like, and she just looked at me like, can I have a cookie? I looked at her and I said, baby girl, it's not about whether I say you can have a cookie. You set a goal for yourself. Do you want to keep the promise that you made to yourself? Right now, you can have the cookie or not have the cookie. And it didn't even come from me. And just like I coach all the women that I work with, I always say, it's not about what I want for you. It's what you want for you. And here I am, because of everything that I've learned with doing this for myself, I am now paying it forward to my daughter. And it came from her wanting to make a change for herself, realizing that something didn't make her feel good or made her sick, or maybe this is not good for me, like my mom keeps telling me over and over and over. So when I share that, I also want you to know how this ripples into all of life. And it's more than just us, right? And we get to create this new normal, and we get to equip ourselves with knowledge and experience. And again, it's one of the quotes that I love most. True confidence comes from keeping our promises to ourselves. So with that, without further ado, I'll bring in Amy. You guys can get to know Amy, but she's going to talk about what it's going to look like with this challenge, the tools we're going to give you to help you not just come into this with a strong mindset, but now with the tools and the support and everything to crush this. Amy, you there?
What's up, guys?
Good hear you.
Hi, happy Sunday. Glad to have so many of you guys on. All right, the tracking. I love tracking. I say either check it off or cross it off. I feel like it keeps me motivated to keep going. If you guys look at our Facebook group, you'll be able to find these trackers, which are the 30 plant tracker, our supplement tracker, our workout tracker, and I think and our movement tracker, because you guys know you don't specifically have to be doing 4 weeks for everybody. If you've chosen a different program, that's fine. You can track your movement in the movement tracker. The 30 plant challenge, and if you guys looked at your modules, you'll see that one of the biggest things that Autumn talks about is having variety. And I love this challenge because you don't really realize how many plants you can have a day until you start doing it. So I highly suggest you guys print this stuff out, or some of you guys like having digital if you guys want to keep it on your phone. But go back to it because it's something that will definitely help you stay on track. Um, Make sure that you guys take your pictures, your before pictures, and your measurements. You guys are going to see we dropped in the modules. I believe it was day 4 or 5 where there's an actual video, and it will show you how you can take your measurements, how to take your before and after pictures. If right now you're someone that has never taken before pictures, I tell you my biggest regret is that I never took them sooner. Don't shy away from doing it. Also, know that we will never share anything on social media unless we ask you first. I know that's something that sometimes people are scared about. These pictures are for you. And one thing that I can definitely tell you that I've done several programs, you don't realize sometimes the changes that are happening until you have that side by side. So if you've already committed to doing this, take the pictures, take the measurements for yourself because you're going to want them. They're going to help you. Right. Tracking is key. So yeah, this is where what the trackers are going to look like for the movement. If you're not doing 4 weeks for everybody, you can either put a selfie on there and store it digitally and share it on social media, or share it with us. You can share it in the chat. And then the other one is for the 4 weeks for everyone. If you'll be doing that program as well, you can track yourself there. Okay, where to find everything. We're gonna have three different avenues here, and the reason we've chosen these three things is because, and I'll tell you, out of all the groups that we've been running, or at least that I ran, I think this has been the most complete challenge group that we've ran to date, just because we've been able to have and find the right platforms for it. First of all, you're gonna know you have the streaming access of 4 weeks for everybody in your body. Membership, which you can either use it through the app on your phone or any streaming device. There, you're going to find all the modules. You have the actual PDF files. You have recipes. You also have videos where she shows how to make the recipes. So the body platform is where you have the actual program. Then we have our Facebook group. I know a lot of people at the beginning were like, but Facebook, oh my God, I hardly go there. Because this is a program that has so much material, this was the most organized and easiest way for us to be able to discuss each module, have somewhere where we can actually share the material, discuss the material, and all be unified. So that's where you'll find our Facebook group. Not only do we discuss the modules, but you see on there where we will drop our videos, where we had our label ninja videos, and as we could progress with our challenge, where we'll have the giveaways, all that information is going to be in our Facebook group. And then lastly, we have our actual chat, our IG chat, which is what we're calling our lifeline. That's really where we're mainly at. It's where we communicate, is where we're dropping sometimes. And I encourage you guys to drop in there your meals, drop your container counts, because what you are doing is not only are you keeping yourself accountable, but you're giving ideas to the next person that's on here. Know that a lot of people, the reason they're on here is because they need the help. They need the ideas. They want to know how to do things, and that's going to be one of the best ways that we can help all of us out. There's going to be sample meal plans. If you look inside the resources of 4 Week Gut Protocol, I know a lot of the times we look at something and we're like, wow, it's so many containers. How am I going to make this look into meals? What is my food going to look like in a day? So if you go into our resources, you'll see where Autumn has actually broken down a 3-day meal plan per bracket. So she'll give you samples of what it's supposed to look like, and then you can obviously put your meals together and get some ideas from there. The next one, okay, the meal planning tips. Okay, the first thing I want to tell you guys, and especially on week 1, is to keep it simple. I know that a lot of us got the cookbook. A lot of us, I know at first I would look at a recipe and say, okay, this is great. This is the container count, but how do I break it up? What do I do? Don't worry about that right now. We like to say, or like I like to tell my girls, pretend that you just purchased a bowl shop, and what you're going to be doing is basically eating in a series of bowls. That way you can look at everything as an ingredients that you're putting on your plate. Sometimes they don't even have to match. Sometimes if you find yourself just eating almonds on them by themselves, that's fine, or olives on their own. Just the basic idea is just try to keep it simple, where you're measuring your containers and you're having all the containers in your bracket for that day. Print out the food list. I went live on our Facebook page and I really broke down to you guys how I do this. What I suggest and what I tell everybody is get that food list, and you can store the PDF file in your files. I have my food list on my phone. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we don't know oh, is this an orange or is it a blue? I go to my food list and it's there. And while you're going to catch yourself the first week going to your food list 2 or 3 times or 5 times a day, it's going to get to the point where that food list is going to become just automatic. So that's one of the biggest suggestions that I can give you. And you can also print it out. That way, when you're creating your grocery list, you know exactly what you can have. Print out your meal plan and put it where you can see it daily. There is one of the, I think, most useful PDF file is the daily journal entry. And while maybe this might seem a little tedious at first, I think it's going to be the best way for you to actually not only learn your meal plan and what goes in it, but while at first you're looking at it and you're writing it down on paper, by that second and third week, you're going to be seeing it in your brain already. You can just get to the point where it's just going to come. I'm telling you, micronutrients is going to be second nature, but you have to write it out. Take the time to do the work, because you learning it, you writing it is what makes it stick to your mind. Prep your food early. and the chopping of veggies, stuff that you can do ahead of time. One of the things that I try to suggest for everyone, usually what takes the longest thing to cook is your proteins. So try to have, at least on Sundays, I try to have at least 2 cooked proteins. If not, find yourself already cooked proteins that you can use. For example, a rotisserie chicken, turkey slices. There's stuff that you can have that you don't really need to cook, even if maybe you're coming back from vacation and it's a Sunday and you don't have time to go to the grocery store. There are certain things that you can have on hand or in your fridge that will have you working, towards your plan the next day until you get to the grocery store. So my biggest suggestion is try to have 2 proteins always cooked or on hand that you can have, and 2 carbs. And then when it comes to the veggies, I usually cook them on the spot, whether it be I saute them or the air fryer, which is basically what I use all the time. You drop them in real quick and your veggies taste delicious. They're not soggy. If you like a vegetable or fruit or meat, there's some swap it. What is it? Wait, I can use it with the same category. If you don't like a
Yeah, I
vegetable
think I have
fruit,
it on the thing. If like there's something like where on the list, like you may like or on the sample meal plan, just go back to the list and like swap it out,
and swap it out. Yeah, and swap it out. Yes, correct.
You know what I was gonna recommend here also, just a couple things. First I'll say that vegetables, because I don't know about you guys, but like I play this game with my produce where I buy like I get really ambitious and I buy like a lot of, and then I don't eat it or it goes bad before I get to it, and then I'm like throwing out produce because it went bad and I didn't get to cook it in time and so on and so forth. So what I do is I kind of keep it on the daily, like how many veggies, the produce I'm going to use for, let's say, half a week, because I go do groceries probably about twice a week in our home. But I always also keep frozen veggies. Those are like the backup, so that when I run out of my produce, if I don't have the actual produce, I've got frozen that I could grab a hold of and throw into the air fryer, or throw it and saute it on a pan for my veggies. And I also have the Shakeology Booster, the Power Greens, as a backup for veggies too. So that's like another good one to have also, because what gets tricky on this kind of meal plan and what we're doing is getting home and not having the food, or like just kind of keeping and making sure that the prep stays on track, so that we're not running into the problem of desperately like grabbing foods that we're not supposed to have because we're just not prepped and ready. The second thing, oh my God, it was in the tip of my tongue as you were talking, Amy, and somebody asked it in the group. Oh my God, what was it? It was a common question. Oh, I know what the common question was. I think it was Liz, that do we have to stick to no raw veggies the first week? So that's another thing that in my 2 years of doing gut protocol, I can tell you this. If you are someone who's already really good with vegetables and have it in your diet today before doing gut protocol, then you don't have to abide by that rule. That is usually for the person who does not have veggies in their diet, where when they start to eat the broccoli and the cauliflower, which we know when your gut biome is off, when we know that there's even there's a kind of a bacteria that the name escapes me right now what it's called, but it can cause the gas and the bloating to go up with certain vegetables until your gut biome is healed, until you're bringing all those probiotics and everything in, and it kind of cleans it out. And now when you're digesting properly. You kind of got to stick it through before you get to that place. But that's for someone who is not, does not have all this introduced into their diet and may eat the broccoli or whatnot, the cauliflower, and feel that. And then most people will be like, oh, I guess I can't have broccoli. And it's not really that. You got to give it time. So if you're someone that in your diet, you already have lots of vegetables, you don't have to worry about that first week not being able to have a salad and so on and so forth, because you can handle it. Your system and your digestion can handle doing that. The second thing, and we'll be dropping this in the group also, if you guys haven't yet gone to the grocery stores, I'm a big advocate for having nutritional yeast. It is going to be like the cheese savior, right, Amy? Like things that where you can't have cheese, you sprinkle some nutritional yeast and it's like the greatest swap out for cheese. So if you haven't yet gone to the grocery store, make sure to pick that up the next time you do, because it's going to also help throughout the next 4 weeks. And we'll be sharing you guys all our swaps that we do all the time and how we get through, especially when it comes to alcohol. So be on the lookout for that. Amy, anything else on meal planning tips that you can think of?
That I can think of. I think pretty much no.
Where do you find the nutritional yeast in the store?
It's going to be in the flour section, where at least in my Publix, it's where all the spices are, and like the flour. Oftentimes you'll also find flax seeds there. So as we're trying to hit plants, by the way, flax seeds will count as a plant. My nutritional yeast will count as another plant, because anything that derives from the ground can be considered a plant when you're trying to hit those 30 plants on a tracker. So I like to get all that kind of stuff, and like I will sprinkle it on different kinds of fruit in the morning. I'll put some flaxseed on it, you know, things like that. But it'll be in a section. And you don't have to put it in the refrigerator, like it's literally like a spice.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So how to get the most out of this? Well, I'll tell you what, first and foremost, it's showing up, right? You got to show up. We have this awesome saying. I think I talked to you guys about it in the welcome video. You got to get in the middle of bed. If you want to get cozy, if you want to feel the warmth of this group and truly experience what we have to offer, because again, you could have gotten Gut Protocol and off on your own, figure this out, right? We offered to you and we told you that we can bring you into a community that was going to be tight knit. This is not a big group, right? It is a small group of women. We all have the same goals. We all want to accomplish the same thing. We all have busy lives. We all wear many hats. We all have probably a lot of odds stacked against us, or maybe hurdles and challenges to get through this, but we were to do it together. And that's what we're offering to you. But it's just like anything. You got to get in the middle of it. You got to show up. So we highly, highly recommend that you show up each and every day, at least once, to the Facebook group to see if there's a lesson for the day or not. Not every day we'll have a lesson. That we'll be dropping things as we go, but it won't be every single day. But check in, right? See if there's anything new that we're sharing for that week. And then secondly, it'd be that chat, right? Every single day showing up to the chat, you get to know the other ladies in there. And again, you become invested in this for not just yourself, but the community as an entirety, right? We also have, oh, by the way, we want you to share anything you come across, whether it's a great recipe, whether it's a great video that maybe captured your attention or really made you feel moved on social media, and you want to share it with the group. If it's a book, if it's a podcast, if it's a show, anything, share with all of us. We're all in this together. Hacks, tips, recipes, all the things. No Snooze Cruise, our virtual gym. That's another great one that came from Amy. She could probably tell the story better than I can, but it kind of goes to something like, she was hitting the snooze button and not working out, hitting the snooze button, not working out. And one day she called our girl Dixie, another girl on our team, and she's like, okay, can you just show up on Zoom tomorrow and make sure that I show up and just make me do it, because I keep sleeping in and I'm not getting my workouts in and I'm going backwards. And the next morning they agreed to, at the ass crack of dawn, wake up and show up for each other. And then they started inviting everybody else. And here we are. What is it, Amy? 5
We're
years?
gonna make 6 years this December. But you know what's funny? This morning I hop on and it's Dixie, and I looked at her and I go, "You know why we've been around for 6 years? Because we're still logging on every single day,
Every single morning, yes.
yes.
So
On a Sunday.
6 years since that day that Amy called on Dixie. And it sounds so simple, right? Hop on Zoom like we're doing right now.
Now it sounds simple because this is pre-pandemic.
Yeah, it was pre-pandemic. Yeah. You know, and a lot of hesitation. A lot of times, especially if you're newer to our team and to our community, oh my God, but I don't want anyone to see me work out, and nobody's paying attention. Really, truly, it's to come in, good morning, you get to see the same people, you put your camera down and you go to your TV or your laptop or whatever it is you're working off of, you push play to your workout and everybody's doing their own thing. And it's just that added piece of the puzzle that makes you feel part of something, that you get to meet new people and you become way more invested in what you're doing, and it works. It just works. And here we are 6 years later. So,
and I just want to add one thing about it real quick, just because today, like, it hit me when I was on there with Dixie. Sometimes when you're doing things every day, you take it for granted. You do take it for granted. And today, like, when I saw that her and I still jumped on, and I was like, you know what? There's been times where if I didn't have that, I would have never jumped on. So the moments that you don't need it, you don't realize it. But it's those days that you don't want to get out of bed. It's those days that you don't feel like doing it, that you're like, fuck, thank God. And you run to it. But if you don't initially jump on, you're never going to have that tool. You're never going to have that. So if you've never jumped on it, I'm inviting you now. You know, nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. The person that jumped on there needed you to show up for them. Think about it that way.
And there's so many times I jump on, I'm the only one, and I still let the camera run. Why not? And if someone else jumps on while I'm still there,
I tell everyone, because I always get a notice when somebody jumps on, stay on, because it's happened so many times. Somebody jumps on, they don't see anybody, and they get off, and the next person jumped on 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I stay on. I let it run. I will say this also, on our team, we're big advocates for the morning routine of getting the workout done in the morning. I get it. Sometimes some of you guys may be doing it in the afternoon for whatever reason. I know a lot of times, like my nurses, they have a different schedule. They have 18-hour shifts. I get it. But if you can, really venture into the morning routine. It is scientifically proven. I mean, that's why the no snooze crew is the no snooze crew. And in the heaviest hours where you for sure find somebody on there is between usually the times of, and I'm talking Eastern time because that's where we're at, 5 a.m. to about 9 a.m. is pretty busy. You'll find somebody at all times. If not, you can go into our chat and be like, you know, sometimes it's like 11 and I'm like, hey guys, late start. I'm hopping on in case anybody else wants to hop on. And you might find somebody else also. But that morning routine, there's just so much proof, right? That sets the tone for the rest of your day, how you show up the rest of your day because you moved your body and you did your mindset work and you journaled, which are all the things that we advocate for and we'll talk a lot about as we go through gut protocol. It shows up for you in life, right? And it's a very big difference doing that in the first end of your day, right? Then versus the end, the last part of your day. I actually urge all my girls that I work with is bookend your day. Try to get your workout done, like the hard part, the really, really hard part, so that that's not hanging off over your shoulder all day long. Like I haven't worked out. And bookend your day with maybe a walk outside as the sun is setting. And you're setting your circadian, I can never say the word circadian rhythm, but you know what I'm talking about. Like you're setting that, right? And you're literally, your body is winding down for the day by taking that walk and perhaps maybe, you know, walking off the dinner you just had, getting ready for bed, and you're helping your body do that. And it creates quality time for your spouse or your family, whoever you go walking with. If you ask me, that's the true way to really get the optimum results out of what we're doing here, right? Get that morning workout done and set that intention in the morning. With that, we'll also say, you know, scroll through the feed and chat every single day and spread the love to others. There's just something so special about giving to others that you receive back, and just that back and forth. We've seen time and time again, friendships built inside and out of our groups because you show up. And the last thing I'll say is ditch the pressure. This is a lifestyle shift, meaning ditch the pressure if tomorrow, day one, something goes wrong and you screw it up and you realize, oh crap, I screwed it up. Doesn't mean you failed. Remove the emotion in the sense of like pressuring yourself for this to be perfect. Okay, if day one you've identified something, fix it for day two, right? Let's just keep getting back out there and understanding that it's not even about these 4 weeks, guys. These 4 weeks are the first stepping stone. It's the first thing that we're going to layer, and then layer after that and layer after that. But at the end of the day, what we're achieving here is a lifestyle shift. So that means ditch it's going to be look 100%, or maybe I should just throw in the towel and wait for the next round of this whole thing to happen because I messed up. None of that. We're going to keep doing this, and everyone here, no woman left behind, is going to finish this and see it through together. And I'll say that also a big part of that is communicating at home, right? Whether it's with your family, your children, your spouse, your coworkers, maybe you have like that group of friends that you always go to lunch with at work, what you're doing, and get their support and understanding. And it might not be a perfect, you know, you might still get the funny, snarky things here and there, but that's where, again, remove the emotion. It's not about you, it's about them, but you know what you want out of this. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, it's those people that when you're done and you achieve the results and they see it and then they realize, okay, she just did that and that's all it took. I want to know more. And they were going to start asking you like, what is it again you're doing? Because I want to do it now too. So stick it out, guys. And if it ever gets really, really hard, you know that we all have each other in this. And that's a for sure that you can always show up to. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here for anybody in our group. If you have any questions outside of it, drop it below this video and we'll answer it. For the rest of you guys, stay on and we'll answer any questions that you may